Now then, boys, what's going on? This is Yorkie here, and today we're going to be helping you out when it comes to picking your team to do a Road to Glory save here on FIFA 22 Career Mode. Having recently gone through this decision myself with a lot of help from the audience, I must admit, and having to kind of pick and choose what kind of RTG we wanted to do and what team we were going to use, I thought it might be helpful if you guys are starting RTGs at this stage of the year, we could give you some guidelines on how to figure out what team you're going to use. So instead of doing the usual, this is some teams to manage, pick these teams, I thought we'd do it this way, where we actually help talk you through how you would choose your team for an RTG. And this is just some of the thought process I used when choosing an RTG. And one thing it can come down to is what kind of Road to Glory save are you trying to do here? Now, if we're going to go fully traditional, pretty much England is the only league you could do this. You could kind of get away with that in Germany because they do have the third tier. But besides that, the only way you're going to get a traditional RTG is by doing it in England. And when it comes to choosing your team in this league, we've had this conversation before on the channel. This doesn't matter at this level, in my opinion. Unless you support one of these teams, it really does not matter which team you choose. At the end of the day, this club will not look anything like it does right now by the time you get to the back end of your RTG. So this really is a kit and a badge, and that is it. And a location. So when choosing a team here in League 2, I would usually go with a rule of thumb of choose the teams that have just been freshly promoted, say Sutton, or choose the team that is more local to you. Now, we do have an option this year, though, to use a conference side, which is pretty cool. You could add Wrexham. Say I don't like Sutton, and I wanted to add Wrexham into this. I can add them in from the rest of the world, put them into the league, and play as them. Of course, they've got the Hollywood attachment now with the new ownership, and this is definitely an option you could use. I don't know if I would go for it. Financial takeover. You've got those options. At the end of the day, that's another way that you could play this RTG. But when you're picking a team in this league, honestly, it really does not matter. If you like Walsall's kits and the badge, pick them. This is if you've got no attachment, of course, to this league. There might be a team that you do. If it was me, Bradford City is extremely close to me, so maybe I would choose Bradford or Harrogate because they're extremely close as well. So you can go down that route. This might give you a little bit of a closer attachment. It might make it easier for you to start following the club in real life, see what they do, see what some of their players do. But again, at the end of the day, when you're starting an RTG at this level, it basically is just a badge and a kit, because the team over a few seasons is going to look nothing like the original team. You can determine your own philosophy. You can determine the way you're going to build the team. And at the end of the day, these squads at this level as well, pretty much anyone could be promoted out of this league in terms of FIFA. So it doesn't really matter. You're not going to be at a huge disadvantage depending who you pick. I learned that very early on. If you go through the teams and you look at the star ratings, between 1 and 1.5 star, there isn't that much difference. I promise you, it really will not have that much of an impact. So just go with what team you prefer. Of course, this time round, there isn't just traditional RTGs. Like, you're not pigeonholed into doing that anymore. An RTG can basically be any team from a lower division at this stage. Not everybody has the time to go through a 10-year journey, pick a team from League 2, and try and get them to win the Champions League. Not everybody's got time for that. So we do have the option now of going up the leagues a little bit. And it's quite simple. When you're picking from League 1, there's so many teams in this league that have got rich histories that you could choose. Charlton being one of them, Sunderland, Portsmouth, Wigan. There's so many. But if I was choosing a team right now, I would pick Bolton. When you look at their plight, the financial issues they've had, practically having just a youth team at one stage, they would be a really fun save to do. I am old enough to remember Sam Allardyce in the Premiership and the team they had with Ocampo and Almanda and Akocha. So Bolton for me would be the team I chose in League 1. This time you are going to have teams in here that would be infinitely more difficult than some of the bigger sides, because there are teams again like Portsmouth, Ipswich, which is a 2.5 star team, that are going to be a lot easier than, say, you picked a Morecambe, who are 1.5 star team. So you could go for the more difficult one. You could still go with the method of the team that got promoted. Again, you could use the system of someone who was close to you. That is definitely an option you could use. But for me personally, I would choose Bolton. And then when it comes to the Championship, it kind of depends on the variant of difficulty that you want when you're picking the Championship. At the end of the day, there are teams here that you might struggle to get promoted, especially if you're playing on ultimate difficulty with sliders. You might not have the greatest of squads. I found that out the hard way. We did a little bit of Blackpool over on Twitch, which, by the way, will be down below. All my socials are Yorkiemann if you want to follow me on any of them. As well, if you are new and you're new to the channel, go and watch Salford. We're having a bloody good time at the moment. Smash the subscribe button. But for me, it's quite an easy choice in this league, considering what's going on. I think Derby just makes the most sense. They've not got the greatest of squads. They've also in a tremendous amount of financial difficulties. I'm really hoping that the club doesn't get liquidated. That would be the last thing I'd want to see happen. Even being a Leeds fan and us having a rivalry, I don't want to see any club go under. So hopefully you could be there to help resurrect them and give Derby a little bit of life. If not, Reading would be another good one. They had a points deduction. They've had their own financial struggles and are struggling this season. So you've got some really good options here in the Championship. You can go a little bit wilder though and pick one of the sides to go relegated. Now when we move away from England to do an RTG, Germany is the king. If you're going to choose a foreign league to do an RTG, it's definitely Germany because they have the free Liga. And there's some really fun stories you could tell using this league, especially with 1860 Munich. Go and try and topple Bayern Munich. That would be a really fun RTG. The one that really stands out for me, and I did add it into the Fallen Giants, is Kaiserslautern. Like, how can you just not look at this team and think this is the perfect side to rebuild? All you have to do is look at the right-hand side and see that they've been crowned champions 4 times and they've won 2 domestic cups. This really is a fallen giant, and they need a little bit of a helping hand to get back through the leagues. Again, it is the 3rd tier, so you could pretty much pick any side here and just create your own narrative. I wouldn't pick any of the B teams because in real life, they are not allowed to be promoted to the top division. I know it's FIFA and it doesn't have to be realistic. You could try and do that, compete Dortmund 2 and Dortmund, but for me personally, that's just not the kind of save I'd want to do. Having said that, again, there are tons of teams in the 2nd division if you wanted to do that instead. They've got rich history: Schalke, St. Pauli, Nuremberg, Werder Bremen. There's a whole host of teams here, Hamburg, so go wild when it comes to that. But personally, I'd be starting rock bottom in Germany, and I'd be doing 1860 Munich or Kaiserslautern. I don't know that much about the French 2nd league, so there could be some teams in here that would make more sense to do above Paris FC. But for me, Paris FC competing with PSG in the top division, I would get a lot of fun out of that, and I think they'd probably be the team I'd look at doing if I'm in France. Again, it's only down 1 tier, but Paris FC could be a lot of fun, and at the end of the day, toppling PSG in Ligue 1 is not going to be easy. Now, I think the only other league that we could do for a foreign RTG that has a 2nd division is Spain. Spain has some really fun RTGs to do. When you've got Tenerife and Ibiza here in the 2nd division, 2, of course, unbelievable party destinations for British holidaymakers. They're really fun. These could be some interesting saves for you to do. But for me, I'd choose Malaga. Before it all fell apart, they had Ruud van Nistelrooy. So I would definitely pick Malaga and try and get them back up to the top division and take them further. I really do wish Spain actually had the 3rd tier because it would be great to have Deportivo in the game because they've got such a rich history. Having the opportunity to rebuild them and bring them back up would make for a really fun RTG. I don't know about you guys, but I really hope we get more leagues in the game as time goes on. Licensing, of course, is very difficult, but I'd love to see more tiers in Italy and so on and so forth. It'd be really cool. And I think we've all been calling for the conference for a long time. It'd be nice to see that in England. It would really make for a long-term hard save, though, getting from the conference to the Champions League. That's going to be it. I want to keep it fairly short and sweet. I like videos like this. We are going to be doing a video in the coming weeks about how to make your RTG realistic, so keep your eyes peeled for that. The best way to do that is follow me on Twitter, where I post every time that a video goes up, or subscribe to the channel and put notifications on, and you'll see every video that we do. That's going to be it for me. I hope I helped you out a little bit. Again, guys, when you're picking a save, when you're picking an RTG, it's so easy to overthink what team you're going to use. Not as difficult as you think, because at the end of the day, no matter what team you choose, it's going to end up being your team as you progress through the save.